Hey y'all, today I wanted to talk about The Trumpet of the Swan by E.B. Wright. This is one of my favorite children's books. It's so cute. It's about the swan Lewis. This is a modern fantasy book because even though there's a lot of things that are kind of realistic, there's a boy named Sam Beaver in here. His life is realistic. Animals are talking, and Lewis here, the swan, learns how to play the trumpet, and that's not really realistic. So it's definitely modern fantasy. Basically, what happens in this book is there's a boy named Sam Beaver who loves animals. He goes camping with his dad, and he comes across these trumpeter swans. And so you have like mom and dad trumpeter swan, and they meet Sam. And Sam saves them from a wild animal, and they're super grateful. So they get this little bond with Sam, and they have their little baby swans, little cygnets, and then Sam becomes really good friends with the little baby swans too, and so they have this really good relationship with Sam. Now, one of these baby swans, his name is Lewis, and he is born without a voice. And so when he's a baby, it's not a big deal, but fast forward like a year later, he's in a swan reserve place in Montana where like swans can just live and be free and they're safe. And he's there and he falls in love with a girl swan named Serena, but he can't say anything. And so he's trying to get her attention by like flapping his wings and swimming and all these things, but she's just not paying him any time of day because he can't say anything to her and he can't profess his love. And so she doesn't even know he exists. Which, I mean, anyone who's dated can attest to that story. That happens for girls and boys. But anyways, so seeing this turmoil, his parents are like, our baby. And so his dad flies to Billings, Montana, and breaks into a music store and steals a trumpet and comes back to the lake reservoir thing with this trumpet for his son, because they think that he can learn how to play trumpet and then he'll be able to talk to Serena and, you know, fall in love and all these things. But in the process, his dad and his mom are like, oh my gosh, our honor is gone because we've just committed this terrible crime. We can't pay for the trumpet. We've caused damages to the store. It's just this big ordeal. And so Lewis now has this trumpet and doesn't know how to play. So he remembers his friend Sam Beaver, who is the kid before that he had met when he was first born. And so he flies to Sam's house, and I'm telling the story slightly out of order, just so it'll make sense to you guys. But while he's with Sam, he goes to Sam's a couple times, and Sam convinces his teacher to let Lewis, the swan, into class, and they teach Lewis how to read and write. And so Lewis carries a chalkboard around his neck and writes things so he can communicate with humans. And he also, Sam helps Lewis learn how to play the trumpet. And Lewis wants to pay the music store back for the trumpet and the damages. So he gets a job at a boys' camp, and he ends up getting a job in Philadelphia and all these other places to earn money. So I'm going to stop right there about my summary because I want you guys to read the book and find out what happens to Lewis. If he gets enough money to pay back the store, if he ends up falling in love with Serena, there's all these random pieces of the story. They're not random, but there's all these things that happen that I'll let you read to find out how it ends, because it's really cute. It's so cute. So definitely go read it and find out what happens to Lewis, because his story is amazing. I would 100% recommend this for kids. The age that it's recommended for is 8 to 12, but I think it's good for all ages. Something I really liked about this book for kids to be able to relate to is the struggles of Lewis. If you're either born with a disability or you get one later in life from an injury or just an unfortunate event, or even if you don't have a disability but you're just going through a hard time, this book just goes step by step on how Lewis overcomes so many hurdles that he's faced with. if it's to get money or to find his true love or to play the trumpet and all these different things. He gets through every single challenge with grace. So that's an amazing thing that kids can relate to. The book also has pictures like this one that's really cute. This is Sam and his dad camping. And an activity for kids that I think is great, that this book does a great job with, is there are journal entries. This is one of Sam Beaver's journal entries about the swans. So because it's recommended for kids 8 to 12, this is kind of the time. At this point they can read, they can write, they can start keeping a journal. And the earlier you start keeping a journal, the better, because you're in habits. So I think that this book, like one activity that is really good for kids, is to start learning how to write in a journal. And this gives multiple great examples of Sam's journal entries. And at the end of each journal entry, he asks himself a question. And so another activity you could do is look up all the answers to Sam's questions in this book, because they don't actually answer them. They leave it open-ended for you to go find out later. So as I said, sorry my video is a little long, but I love this book, and there's so much. It's a novel and chapter book. There's so much that's going on in here. But go read it for yourself, enjoy it, and have a great day.